Automobilista 2 updates Le Mans and a lot of other stuff. Le Mans Ultimate makes a sound and much more news right here, right now. Welcome! You're watching WromWrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. Automobilista 2 is getting prettied up for some big update later in the year. Le Mans Ultimate exists and our monthly statistics have some interesting surprises, especially when it comes to Automobilista 2. And from next week on, we'll be showing you interesting races once again. Come in, wondrous worlds await. We have a live sign from Le Mans Ultimate. You may remember they moved the release date of the R-Factor 2 based endurance sim from December of last year to February of this year. And now it won't be a full sim, but it will be a product on early access for €30, 33 USD or 25 British pound, which then will allow you to provide feedback, being released on the 20th of February. Right. So, Motorsport Games got rid of a lot of people, are on the brink of bankruptcy for all we know, and are now publishing an untested sim as early access where you pay for the privilege of being their quality assurance team. Right. I shouldn't be so snarky though, because the track list alone makes me shake in anticipation, as they seem to promise Sebring, Portimao, Spa-Francorchamps, Monza, Fuji, Bahrain, and of course Circuit de la Sarre in Le Mans from day one. And 7 hypercars with a Cadillac, Ferrari, Glickenhaus, Peugeot, Porsche, Toyota and Van Wall hypercars in their 2023 configurations. So while we're very skeptical of Le Mans Ultimate, you know we're gonna be day one buyers, even if this might very well be, as Cody put it,
Motorsport Games' last game.
Le Mans Ultimate will only be available for PCs and will feature single player as well as multiplayer modes. The latter seemingly only through Studio 397's race control, which we tested and reviewed in the video you'll see the link for up there. No mention of being able to set up your own servers or of a career mode. They also don't say anything about future releases like the 2024 series. Probably because they themselves don't know if they're gonna last that long. You may know of Mika Salo, former Finnish F1 fan favorite. Now he and his son, Max Salo, have entered a partnership with Simucube, which will allow Simucube to use their names in their marketing and them to use Simucube products for training. No information was given by either parties of any possible economic transactions having to do with this partnership, but we all know how the business side of these things goes. WromWrom saw the tiniest of updates, correcting an issue on the force feedback of the Audi TT and bettering the handling of non-wheel controllers. Yeah, no, that's it. And while we're on it, Rennsport also saw a small update on Friday, which got rid of the Porsche safety car that was in pit lane at odd places, to the hilarity of many of us, and correcting the banners in Monza. They also list some known issues they are working on. Yep. That's it too. Assetto Corsa Competizione also saw a minimal update, as partial laps were registered as completed laps on the leaderboard. The Mercedes AMG GT2 had an LOD error and small issues with cars in the pit lane. Again, that's it. We don't call them short news for nothing. We didn't expect this to go any different. The overall number of sim drivers sunk in January compared to December, but the number is still substantially higher than in November. Assetto Corsa, WromWrom and R-Factor 2 lost users, R-Factor 2 for the third consecutive month, while Assetto Corsa Competizione, probably thanks to the GT2 DLC, saw its numbers rise almost at a peak, as did Automobilista 2, which has now the highest number of daily average users we've ever recorded for this sim. That sweet endurance DLC sure tastes good, and while Dirt Rally 2 also lost users, it still has more drivers per day than the much newer EA Sports trademark WRC, which does not surprise us at all. Yet another franchise EA has driven to the ground. No surprise at all. The dry season has ended! This is the newest racing and broadcasting calendar, and as you can see, we'll have once again races of the Evolution Racing Academy as well as the Advanced Simulation Racing Club starting next week with the ERA in Zolder. The ERA will be racing GT3s in different Assetto Corsa Competizione tracks chosen at random last year, and from the ASRC will be showing their Sports Car Championship, a multi-class racing championship on different US American tracks. Both are communities with a high level of driving quality and a lust for battling in a fair way, thus we expect to see great racing, great battles and much to rejoice. And of course we'll fill the races with our usual banter, our half knowledge of motorsports and of course our love for sim racing. Not to be missed, I tell ya. On Monday, Reza released the 1.5.5.4 version of Automobilista 2, and on Saturday they released a huge 1.5.5.5 version update, declaring it the last big update in a while. From the information we have, they may have started working on a 1.6 version that will once again bring finer physics into the sim. Some of the people we've talked to compare it to the complete change 1.5 meant, but we're a little bit skeptical. Not to disregard the fantastic work Reza have been doing, mind you. It's just that the 1.5 meant a big jump because they introduced an intricate interplay of the physics of different parts of the car and corrected deep-rooted issues in the physics and the force feedback of the Madness engine. And we don't think Automobilista 2 needs such a big change anymore. On the other hand, Reza being Reza, they may again have discovered something big or have introduced something else as big. We'll have to wait what 1.6 brings. Coming back to the changes introduced by both versions this week. Automobilista 2 now supports local yellow and blue flags in their flag panels, which should be visible in all Grade 1 tracks the sim has. On oval tracks, the panels will be on the whole time, showing green for the whole race, unless there's a reason for them to show any other color, of course. They also added translations for scheduled full course yellow in the user interface. In the Sims HUD, the engine icon will show better the condition of the engine wear, better fitting into Reza's damage model. One thing they had already introduced but was usable only as command line now comes into the settings screen, as you will be able to decide if the sim pauses when it loses focus, like when you go to another window, or if it keeps running. This will be especially interesting for us for our broadcasts, as I could only use one monitor and do nothing else on the computer that had Automobilista 2 running, and Season 3 of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup will look and feel better thanks to this. Once again, the tire treads have been worked upon, which is something Reza seemed to do on every update, big or small. On the subject of tires, they've also changed the tire wear slightly for all compounds, mostly to make tires more durable, which will be great for my Le Mans stints, if I ever can drive longer than half an hour without binning it, that is. A lot of the cars should now have a better force feedback feeling, and the FUSA 2023 cars now have the damage model implemented in full force. Even if Indy FUSA cars are normally quite reliable. They also changed a lot in the aerodynamics with adjustments of the Group C and GT1 cars, the drafting, and because of that, the dirty air effects, which are now stronger. The behavior of the AI has been changed in different parts, like when they start overtaking, when they go off track, or when they go on the brakes, and in the Formula USA car, the external sounds have been updated. The way the AI's tires behave is also changed, and the AI got recalibrated in their use of BMW Pro Car, F-Trainers, GTE, Hypercars, P1, P3, and P4. On Road America, Laguna Seca, and Spielberg, the Pace or safety car got its own pit box. Monza got 3D trees, and Jerez and Cascais have track flag panels. Cars also got some updates, mostly in their graphics, but the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo also got some technical changes in the cockpit and regarding the engine vibrations.